Does the government work for us or do we work for the government? Can the federal government just take whatever it needs from whoever it wishes? Tonight, the president wants to raise taxes again. Last week, the president indicated he'll ask Congress to raise taxes on all those who annually earn greater than $200,000 as individuals or $250,000 as couples. Now, if you own a small business and the income of your business is included with your own, under the president's plans, your taxes will go up, even if you take home less than $200,000 or $250,000 a year. This proposal is a foolish and recessionary assault on those who hire most of the workers in this country, small, non-publicly traded businesses. Within hours of President Obama's advance of this idea, it was blasted for the reasons just articulated. And it was blasted by Democrats as well as Republicans. Not one to learn a lesson that flies in the face of his big government orthodoxy, the president was at it again today. Today, in a campaign-style speech delivered from the White House Rose Garden, the president's target, incredibly, in the midst of a recession with 9.1% unemployment, was the class of folks who do the investing that generates employment, those whom he calls millionaires and derisively refers to as rich. Today, the president says he wants to raise taxes on the rich. Never mind that the rich in some states, like here in New York, pay more than 50 cents on the dollar in taxes. Never mind that the rich pay more than 60% of all federal revenue. Never mind that the rich do the same things as the rest of us do when taxes go up and when they have less disposable income. They cut back, they spend less, they earn less, they invest less, they pay less in taxes. Mr. President, if you want to raise taxes on the most productive among us, productivity. If you lower taxes, there is more money to invest and productivity goes up. If only the president understood the truths of basic economics. Every dollar that the government collects in taxes is a dollar no longer available for investment. Only non-government investment produces real prosperity because people will only risk their own money where it is likely to produce a return. The government can spend all it wants on make-work jobs, but at some point that money runs out and the jobs end. The decision to seek tax increases on the most productive members of society was made by the same mindset that invested $500 million of your tax dollars into that crazy and perhaps corrupt Solyndra Green Energy company that went bankrupt at taxpayers' expense last week. This is why the Constitution was written, to prevent the government from picking winners and losers. Government bureaucrats make financial decisions for political reasons, not for economic ones. When he announced earlier today that he was going to ask Congress to raise income taxes in a manner that Congress just rejected last year, the president called his proposal the Buffett rule, and he quoted George Washington. As usual, the president has his facts and his history wrong. Mr. Buffett, an 80-year-old self-made billionaire, is hardly your average American, or even your average rich American. You probably don't know anybody like this. He complains all the time that he doesn't pay enough taxes. Okay, let him go ahead and send all the additional money he wants to the federal government. His ordinary income is $100,000 a year. How is he a billionaire? His wealth comes from capital gains, which are taxed at a lower rate than his ordinary income. That's a good thing. Were capital gains not taxed at a lower rate than ordinary income, we'd have even less investment and higher unemployment than we have now. And President Obama should study history before quoting George Washington on taxes. George Washington led an army against a king because the king taxed us too much. Today, the top federal income tax rate is 35%. In 1776, the wealthiest colonists were taxed at an average of 2.5%. And they fought a revolution. And they enacted a constitution that forbade the federal government from imposing income taxes. America, you can't make this stuff up. The big government crowd is dangerous. They want your property and they want your freedom, and they're willing to mislead you in order to get them. Don't let them get away with this. Tomorrow on Freedom Watch, that great defender of freedom, Professor Walter Williams, and that great defender of military spending, Senator Lindsey Graham. That'll be some fun. From New York, defending freedom every night of the week. So long, America.